You're cruising down the road with a friend and decide to listen to the radio. Did you ever wonder why the radio has AM and FM options? AM is short for Amplitude Modulation, and it is the first radio broadcast technology. FM stands for Frequency Modulation and can broadcast a higher quality sound. FM radio is almost a century old and still contributes to the daily lives of people around the globe. Old radios like these represent the first time a person, or a family's connection to the greater world, came from over the air. Traveling on radio frequencies, music and voices enter a home, providing entertainment and news. By the 1930s, the AM radio receiver is a center of activity, a go-to device for escape. Unfortunately, technological problems persist with the AM format, namely static. Just listen to the static in this fireside chat conducted by President Franklin Roosevelt in 1933.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
My friends, I want to talk for a few minutes with the people of the United States
And one of the big
banking.
problems with AM is static, is noise, electrical storms, ignition noise from vehicles. In the old days, a lot of appliances had motors with sparking commutators, so your neighbor turns on his electric shaver and wipes out your radio.
As more radio stations crowd the airwaves and more people add radios to their households, the need to eliminate this static is critical. So, Edwin Armstrong heads back to his laboratory to develop his third major contribution to the technology of the radio. Armstrong initially looks for a simple way to reduce the static by modifying the conventional approach to modulating the amplitude of the radio wave, but is not successful. Others had considered the possibility of modulating the frequency of the radio wave. However, most concluded that such an approach offered no improvement over amplitude-modulated systems. In 1933, Armstrong discovers that greatly increasing the bandwidth containing a frequency-modulated signal over that of an equivalent AM radio wave would yield the sought-after result. A clear, crisp sound is heard from Armstrong's wideband frequency modulation, or FM, radio.
In FM, you're ignoring the amplitude of the signal, which is where those noise spikes come in, and you're just counting where the signal crosses zero in here, so you can cut everything else out and just receive the pure signal that went in. That's FM, no static at all.
Armstrong develops his FM system. He builds a station and licenses receivers. When the U.S. enters World War II, Armstrong gives his FM patents to the U.S. military, which uses them for many purposes, including the world's best two-way radios. After the war, Armstrong faces frustrating obstacles on the regulation of FM broadcasting, but he remains confident that the future of radio is with FM. Edwin Howard Armstrong is the world's most significant radio inventor. His regeneration technology becomes the basis for both transmitters and receivers that start the broadcast revolution. The superheterodyne technology he develops during World War I is still used today. Later in his life, Armstrong returns to his childhood home and visits his top-floor laboratory where it all began. One can only imagine what thoughts ran through his mind during these moments of reflection.